Happy 2026, future graduates of Regenesys, and welcome to the home of Regenesys at 165 West Street in Sandton. To you that's joining us online that couldn't be here in person, I want you to feel the vibe of the people that's right in front of us. So how are you feeling for 2026? That's what I want to hear. You're awake. Welcome to you. My name is Indrani Reddy. I have the greatest opportunity in serving Regenesys as Chief Operating Officer for the last, I'm almost there with 8 years now at Regenesys, so I've passed my bit of an itch. But it's good to be back home here in South Africa. We across quite a few countries that I'm going to introduce, but if I can just get everyone settled while you know my name, I'm going to learn your name throughout the session this morning. In the house with me, I'd like to welcome my Dean, Dr. Kumalo, our Group CFO, Mr. Douglas, our Director, Linda Kutsia, who I've seen has walked in. Linda, come have a seat as well if you'd like to. I can see she's matched me with the Regenesys colors. Our new Dr. Nishal, who's joined us to head up our School of AI, something that we really focused on in 2026 to launch. Our head of school for public management, Mr. Watch out for this name. You're going to drop your jaw on this. His name is Noah Trevor. Huh? Like, can you believe it? We've actually got our own Trevor Noah in reverse here at Regenesys. Right. So how are you feeling this morning? Where's all the matriculants? Pick up your hands. Pick up your hands. Give them a round of applause. Right? I see Dr. Rowan Govender heading up our School of Health at the back. Rowan, come to the front. We want our future students to see who they're going to be interacting with at Regenesys. I see our student recruitment team is at the back waiting, all charged to support you. Where's the ladies and gents of our student recruitment team? Dr. Kamala Patha, heading up our School of Education, is walking to the front. Let's give Dr. Rowan Govender a round of applause, School of Health. I think he just wanted to make an entrance, people. Huh? Dr. Kamala Patha, with her florals there, let's give her a round of applause as well. For best dress, though. For best dress, right? You know how we say geeks and techs don't get it? I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Nishal. Dr. Nishal, just stand up and show them what fashion looks like in this day and age. There's a student of Regenesys that's crawling in here that needs no introduction. You've seen him on Pop Idols, none other than Proverb, who's catching up with that dissertation to get onto that MBA red carpet. A lot of applause for... Right. So I think we settle down. I'm going to do a welcome again. Welcome, everyone. This is an important day for us at Regenesys, a very important day. We don't take it lightly that you have come here because you are starting the rest of your future with a foundation in education. In whatever field you're choosing, you are choosing Regenesys. If we can have the coffee station go down with noise around us, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So why choose Regenesys? Something has attracted you to us, right? I hope it had nothing to do with you not getting an AFSAS degree, bursary. But even if it's that, you're not here by, I don't believe people fall into education or an institution by chance. I really believe it chooses you. And so Regenesys called you here today. It was founded in 1998 by a phenomenal human being that you're going to meet shortly, our chairperson, Dr. Marco Sharavanya, who started his journey in Africa as a monk, coming to serve the poor community in Orange Farm, where he spent 7 years, a project that we've proudly adopted in 2025, some 30 years later again, as our community service project. Our founders, co-founders, Dr. Penny Law, as well as Dr. William Vivian. I haven't seen Dr. Vivian as yet, but I'm sure he's going to join us shortly as well. Almost 30-year-olds at that stage, envisioning an institution of this magnanimity, they had one goal. And that goal was to make the world a better place through education. But not just making the world a better place through education, but creating graduates that would become conscious leaders. Those graduates now add up to 500,000 alumni across the world in 190 countries. So when we announce that we want to make the world a better place by creating conscious leadership, we need to have a how, right? Look around us. What breaks us and irks us and irritates us every day? The news bleeds with corruption, crime, the cousins of poverty. These are leadership issues. This is not societal problems that just happened by itself. So our focus at Regenesys is about getting leadership right. And when we talk leadership, I'm not talking about being the doctors and the CEOs and the CFOs and the directors. I'm talking every day about citizens who take charge of their lives. You are leaders. So how do we do this? Imbibed in our program and academic rigor, we promote personal mastery. And that is the most unique differentiator at Regenesys. We're accredited with the CHE, SACWA, like every higher education institute, whether you're public or private, you need to have that in place. So typically, if you do an MBA, an honors degree, a degree in teaching, in health professionals, doesn't matter where you are, you're going to get the same academic rigor. You really are going to swallow in the same information that you need to regurgitate at some point and practically gain skills to be able to do this. So what makes Regenesys different? What would make you as a Regenesys graduate stand out? It's your ability to master yourself. So personal mastery really talks about that we believe that every individual has access to education and should be granted access to education because you have an IQ. Our tagline is, you get a prize for this. What is our logo? Not Regenesys. There's a gift for the lady in red. Your name is? Heather said it. Did you hear, Heather? Awakening potential. So when you come in with your IQ and perhaps sometimes self-limiting beliefs, and hopefully most times with a bubble of confidence, we enhance that by awakening your potential. So we introduce you to EQ, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to harness your own power within you, to manage self, to regulate emotions. You know that stereotypical saying, women are emotional? You know that? The one that grates me? Happiness is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. Grief comes out in emotion. We all own this. Our ability to manage this, in order to manage self, gives us the power to lead and manage others. If you can't manage self, you can't manage others. So this typically in your journey in education and in your career outside Regenesys will help you to become a team leader, a supervisor. But we want you to aim high, right? We want you to dream big. So to do that, you need to think bigger than self-sustainability. And that is where spiritual quotient come in, SQ. When we talk about spiritual quotient, we don't preach religion. We talk the values of love, of collaboration, authenticity. But fundamentally, spiritual quotient is digging deep within yourself to find who am I? And that's not Indrani Reddy. Beyond that name, who am I? What are my talents besides the ability to function like everyone else? What is my uniqueness? Because each of us is gifted with unique talents. And how do I take these talents and identify my purpose? Now, purpose is far greater than just what I earn to sustain myself, my family, and the people that depend on me. Purpose is talking about really making the world a better place. And purpose is linked with sustainability, with people, with profit, with planet. What is my contribution to these elements beyond just my bank account and my survival? When we're able to think with spiritual intelligence, we're thinking into the future. We're setting higher goals for ourselves. We're pushing through those exams because we have somewhere far greater to go than just the graduation carpet. I can see some nods. Are we talking Regenesys, EQ, IQ, SQ? Then we talk physical quotient. That's the fourth one. Everyone in this room has survived a pandemic. Well done. Right? Everyone in this room knows somebody that did not survive the pandemic. Yeah? And that was not something easy to deal with. So we equip you with EQ and SQ, but we want to take you along the journey to know that this body is your vehicle to attain purpose, to achieve your dreams. So you've got to be physically fit from a mental perspective, from a body perspective, from a spirit perspective. So Regenesys in its ecosystem has facilitators that will facilitate each of these quotients that I'm talking about. We have a gym upstairs on the 5th floor called Healthy. So we will promote physical programs like high intensity, Tai Chi, running clubs, hiking clubs, tennis clubs. We want you to take advantage of this. Mindfulness classes, yoga. So there's something for everyone to get fit. Our personal trainers are here today, Bontle, dynamic young lady. We have Reg Cafe that produces healthy food. We take care of those that don't want healthy food every day. But we encourage healthy eating. You'll get vegan options, vegetarian options here, understanding nutrition and smoothies, right? So we really focused on creating a holistic development around you. Financial quotient. We have a company called Regenesys Investment Fund, and headed up by Aniki van Rooyen, who comes from years of experience managing trade markets, capital markets, and we teach this to our students. We start off with personal finance, but we also bring to fore trading and how you can start investing so that your money can start making money from you as soon as you start earning. The last quotient is professional quotient. In your last semester with us, Denanda Talent, which is a recruitment company at Regenesys that looks after placing students as well as external clients, will take you through a program of professional quotient. How to position your brand, how to prepare your CV, how to role play in interviews, so that our students can walk out here feeling ready for an interview and work ready as well. That is the holistic part of Regenesys. We have presence across, and this becomes your community with our 500,000 alumni. We have a presence here in South Africa, India, Nigeria, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Uganda, Mauritius. Have I left out anywhere? Kenya, because Linda spent time in Kenya, so she won't forget that. And Kenya as well. Programs extend beyond the accredited programs that you've come here. We have programs from higher certificate all the way to doctorate programs. Dr. Sibo Kumalo will introduce our different schools. Later on, you'll get to interact with our different faculty members in the breakaway rooms. But very important to also know that our digital Regenesys really looks at future fit programs to enhance your accredited programs with us as well. Why digital? Because you need to have digital fitness. This world has moved into technology, so you need to be that cheetah that's moving at its pace as well. This year, we are launching in February our School of AI. I spoke about Dr. Nishal, and we are going to make it compulsory for every single school to thread in AI so that you understand AI in health, AI in education, AI in the master's program as well. Without further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Sibo Khumalo, who's our dean. Sibo is now celebrating 2 decades at Regenesys. You know, 2 decades. Why do I mention this? I spoke about our shareholders and their longevity with us. It's an honor and a privilege to serve our institution where we have grown from very humble beginnings to now boast 12,000 current students, 500,000 alumni. Where did I lose you, right? And Dr. Khumalo, I'm sure he's as agile as Dr. Khumalo. Yeah. Kicking the ball for Kaiser Chiefs, right? He kicks the ball in the academic rigor to ensure that the accreditations are up to date, that we have the best faculty that come from industry to give you the best value for money. Without much ado, I'm going to hand you over to Dr. Khumalo.
Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see you here. I love the energy in the room. Thanks, Inrani, for the introduction and to give us context and to just say a bit about Regenesys. First of all, I'd really just want to greet the leadership of Regenesys, led by our chairman, Dr. Marcos, just walked in, and all my colleagues, the academic heads, the school heads, all the academic leaders, and everyone really who's working behind the scenes this morning. I want to greet you and welcome you, but most importantly, I want to greet and welcome our guests. Thank you for making it. Thanks for this turnout. You could have been elsewhere, but you're here. Thank you for being with us. And this, not only here, and those who are online, greetings to you and welcome. How can I leave out our special guest who will be speaking a little bit later? Welcome. Thanks for supporting us always. So this morning presents an opportunity for us all to connect, for us to get to know you better, and also for you to get to know us better, to ask those questions that you may have had. But also not just to ask questions, you can have conversations with us. So that's why we're here. We want to have those chats with you, have those conversations with you, to allay some fears, to tell you more about who we are and what we do, and how we do what we do. And you'll get a snippet of that when you go into breakout rooms. My colleagues are all ready. I will be introducing them later. But they are ready and willing to take you through what each of their schools are doing. And in a way, we're therefore here to support you in the process of making a decision to invest in this life-changing endeavor of education. It could be your education or the education of your loved ones, your significant other, or whoever you are sponsoring. So it's an opportunity for us. We are really honored to be part of this occasion where we support that decision, because we don't take it lightly. This is a decision that will change someone's life. This is a decision that will impact the future of our country and our continent and the world. And so we're honored to be with you. Don't hold back. Don't be shy. We are here to talk and to engage with you. So Inrani has mentioned now, I didn't think I would, I didn't think she was going to say it, but she did say, I'm like 20 years now here, feel like furniture. But yes, I've been here for about 20 years now, and it's quite exciting, and therefore I can speak with conviction about what Regenesys stands for, about what we believe in, and who we are as the institution. As Regenesys, we believe in holistic education, and Inrani has mentioned aspects of what makes holistic education. It's not just about cognitive abilities, but we're trying to work around a holistic individual. So we believe in that because we believe holistic education contributes significantly towards conscious graduates. Graduates who will go out in the world and make a positive impact. and thus contributing towards making the world a better place, as already mentioned by Nrani. So that's what we believe in, that's what we stand for. All the intelligences have been mentioned, I won't go back to that. But that's who we are. And we're here to tell you more about ourselves when we engage later. So we have a number of schools. I will now introduce them. And the programs offered in these schools are quite interesting, are quite dynamic, are quite relevant, globally relevant. And they prepare our students for that uncertain future. And you can ask my colleagues when we engage with them one-on-one how. Because we are mindful of the fact that the future is dynamic, the future is changing, and therefore we need to be preparing our students for the real world challenges. We have the School of Economics. You will meet Mr. Ronald Botes, who heads up that school. We have the Business School, both undergrad and postgraduate. Ms. Nyoni and her team will be assisting there. We also have the School of Law, Regenesys School of Law, very popular. You will meet Advocate Kevin Malunga and his team sitting right here. You will meet him in the breakout room and colleagues online. The School of Technology, also you will meet Dr. Rajesh Riyalki, who is online as well. School of Education, Ms. Kamala Peta, you will meet her, and please do engage with her. Ask all the questions about the state of education and what the school has to offer. The School of Entrepreneurship, we also have the School of Entrepreneurship. The School of Health, Dr. Rowan Govender was introduced earlier. And finally, not finally, we have the School of Public Management, Mr. Ngube Trevor. And then finally, the School of AI. Dr. Nishal. So please engage with my colleagues. Please engage with all of us. Leadership is here. We are all really available to engage with you. And so please don't hold back. Don't be shy. In those few words, I really want to welcome you. Please enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Kumalo. Let's give him a resounding applause there. Great. So the next individual that I'm going to introduce to you has just recently started at Regenesys, going to be part of the launch of our School of AI and revolutionize education with catching up with the 8th generation technology. Dr. Nishal is a senior technology specialist. He's been a leader in cybersecurity for over 20 years as well. If you look at him, you can't imagine that he spent 20 years in industry. Yes, that's PQ at its best, looking so young. He previously served as Chief of Strategy for Cyber Alliance in the EMEA space for Mazars in South Africa, and has had a number of board-level advisory positions. I'm not going to go into length in all of that, but hand over straight to you, Dr. Nishal Kushial. And like I said earlier, he's definitely not dressed like a tech geek, isn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and other anomalous AIs in the audience, good morning. It's wonderful making your acquaintance. First, allow me the privilege of introducing and thanking each and every one of you to afford us the time to come in. Trust me, this is an investment in your future. What you are doing here, the explorations that you are chartering here, is the precursor to amazing things. So first and foremost, our great executive of Regenesys, distinguished guests, parents, industry partners, and most importantly, you, our future leaders of industry as well. Thank you for the time. So welcome to Regenesys Business School. Today, I know that we are around here with the sentimentality of an open day, but I'd like us to expand our consciousness a little bit more. This is more than an open day. I think this is an entry point into a glimpse of the future. It is one that is not written by geography, not by the legacy institutions, but by intelligence, adaptability, and digital courage. I have the privilege to stand here and talk to you about what are we doing chartering our future to ensure that we enable and empower you as potential students and as future leaders of industry, of government, and of the world? So we always hear that this notion AI is coming, AI is arriving soon. But I'd like us to consider that AI is already here. It's not coming, it's here already, my good people. I used to talk to quite a lot of boards, and I've had the privilege of advising industry leaders on, let's talk about transformation, let's talk about how technology is evolving. But the truth is, if technology at this point in time is part of our human condition. It's part of our human experience. We interact with it on a daily basis. It is what we use. We wake up with technology. During the day, we have technology. We even go to sleep with technology, some of us. But be that as it may, consider that technology shapes how government decisions are now made, how healthcare is being deployed, and even how creativity itself is being expressed. Those are really human, emotive concepts. And now we have artificial intelligence, the revolution and the next stage in the evolution of technology. So my question to each and every one of you is that, will you consume AI or will you command it? So at Regenesys, what we've done is that we've considered all of this, the evolution, the life cycle, and we've decided not to go into following trends, not to go into short-term certifications, not to go into things that might fade into irrelevance in the future. We don't want to light a candle. We want to be the fire. And to build Africa's most academically integrated, credit-bearing AI ecosystem is quite a journey, but we can do it whilst integrating concepts of technology and AI. And I'm proud to say that Regenesys is one of the schools which are the first schools and university and academic institutions which have credit-bearing certifications coming out of artificial intelligence itself. Not only that, we have 110 professionally certified AI experts globally, which is working for our school, engineering, changing the landscape, and supporting you as our future family students. Now that's pretty amazing if you think about the infrastructure behind the entire academic institute, good people. So we understand technology. We recognize the future. And we're proud to stand above our peers on that basis. I wish I had a lot of time to go into how exactly are we going to use AI in all of our schools. But in a nutshell, take heart. Adaptive intelligence is going to be integrated. We are going to use AI feedback loops in how to guide assisted education and assisted learning. All of the schools are going to be empowered by that. We're going to have foundational AI literacy. You as future leaders, you have to start at the ground roots, the foundation of understanding AI, entrenching that, and making sure that you are relevant in the global context is even more important than ever before. South Africa needs to be a force. And the best way we can be a force is if we own our AI implementation instead of follow others. AI strategy and governance, all of these concepts you will learn as part of our family. My illustrious colleagues have mentioned a small forte in the forensics and in the cybersecurity domain, and you will benefit from this insight. We'll learn about ethical AI. We'll learn about responsible technological usage. And all of you will learn for the benefit of all how to leverage technology, how to enable yourself to protect yourself, and how to protect your families. Now that's a pretty amazing notion if you think about it as a whole. We don't train button clickers. That's not the intention. We want to train architects of the future. We want to train strategists, builders, and decision leaders. So, what's special about Regenesys is that consider what our good Milady Indrani's mentioned a little bit earlier. We are aware on the basis of spiritual intelligence, of practical intelligence, of emotive intelligence, and now we are integrating that human sensitivity, that human condition into something that is digital, bringing it together in a perfect orchestration and a melody that can be heard by our students and will be heard by the world. So today, as you walk around the campus, ask yourself, who do I want to become in this new age of technology and AI? And if your answer is, I want to be a leader, I want to be a creator, I want to be a thinker, I want to be a global digital citizen, I want to be a visionary, then Regenesys is not just an option. Regenesys is your platform. It's the platform for your amazing future. And in conclusion, I'd like to again say, welcome to Regenesys, welcome to the future, and welcome to the next generation of AI-powered leadership. Thank you, ladies and gents.
Thank you, Dr. Nishal. I'm looking around me and I'm hoping that we're still holding on to what Heather said. Heather, did you get your gift as yet? It's on its way, right? What was the tagline, everyone? Now, I don't want to hear Heather. I want to hear all of you. Oh, my God. The chairperson's just walked into the room, guys. He's not even going to believe that you believe this tagline. Let's hear it again. What is our tagline at Regenesys and why are you here today? Because you want to?
Awaken your potential.
That's it. Now, the loudest voice I heard was Proverb. And I think it's because he knows he's going to come up on stage and command the stage now. Proverb needs no introduction. I'm sure all of you know him from his 5 albums, a DVD, his numerous entertainment gigs that he's had, starting off as a rapper, I remember. Now, I've given my age away, right? Starting off in my days as a rapper. And over the years, he's become a seasoned entertainer who's really believed that the way the world will change, even in entertainment, is through education. So this courageous young man, some 4 years ago, started his journey at Regenesys from the undergrad, getting onto the graduation carpet, and is almost at the point of 2 modules and a dissertation, right? Away from graduating as a master's student at Regenesys. Let's give him a round of applause. Right? So some notable accolades. I loved this one. Hustler of the Year Award 2015. And why I like this one is because I met a hustler in the student. He is the only student at Regenesys who's had his left ear twisted by me. The only. Yes. The only student. I've got in New York Saturday. Indrani, they've changed my times. I've got a new show. This is Money Girl. I need to do this. And I would go, why are we here? Why? And that's important for you as well. When I say courage, it takes courage when you've passed matric and you've passed your 30s and you've passed your 40s to decide, I need to take ownership of my future, of my next 5 decades. And it doesn't stop at masters. He hails from a family where both his parents are doctors. And so when we started the journey and he was interested in the undergrad, I said, you will do your parents proud. And you will stand with them with your doctorate. And he was like, let's go for masters. And I said, not stopping at masters. So it's just his stepping stone to his doctorate. I'd like you to hear from him, not just as the Pop Idols host, but I'd like you to hear from him as an alumni of the undergrad, as a current student, the challenges he's had, the times when he felt, I can't go on, because you will have those moments. You will have those moments. But at Regenesys, there's a customer centricity around our people who care for you, who egg you on, who urge you, who follow up with you. And I'm not talking about Indrani. I'm talking about an entire department dedicated just to get you across over and above our faculty. We have tutors that will make themselves available at any time. He'll attest to that. In addition to your faculty, so that you feel equipped, you feel held, and you feel capable of moving on when you want to quit. I'm going to hand over to this magnificent student of Regenesys, Proverb.
Thank you so much.
One more time for Indirani, please, everybody. Always incredibly kind to me, and I thank you so much. And Indirani, I know here at Regenesys Education, we're not sticklers for protocol, but please allow me to firstly acknowledge our chairpersons, our dean, to acknowledge our leadership at large, distinguished gentlemen that are in attendance, and of course, my fellow pupils, both physical and online. A very good morning to you all. So as Indirani correctly says, I do go by proverb, but my name is Teboho Tekisho. That's never stuck with anyone, by the way, except maybe SARS only and the bank, you understand. Folks, just by way of introduction, even though Indirani has already covered a lot of it, just to tell you a little bit about who I am an award-winning broadcaster, did South African Idols for some 14 years. I'm still on national radio, Metro FM. I host a midday show, weekdays 12 to 3. I am also a property practitioner. I have a portfolio that spans the country, Western Cape, Northern Cape, GP, and the like, KZN, as well as a published author. For my first book, I won an award recently, last quarter last year, the Mind to Page Awards. Thank you so much, Best Biography. I have copies of my second book here, and you'll notice I brought 2 with me. That's because whoever interacts with me best during my little talk, I'm going to give a copy to, all right? So for you to note over there. But my biggest pride and joy is that I have completed my Bachelor's of Business Administration. Update Indirani, the last time we spoke, I was shy of a dissertation, which I have completed, got a distinction for, respect me. And I am literally left with an exit module, Conscious Leadership, before I can graduate for my master's, and my journey does not stop there. I have committed, as encouraged by Indirani, to pursue my doctorate. So, if my calculations are correct, this will be the last time I accept proverb. Going forward, it shall be Dr. Folks, it wasn't always like that. I shared with you the last bits and the products and the results and the end of the race. How it started was, as a boy from Kimberley, very distracted, had my interests everywhere else. You agreed profusely when Indirani spoke about rap. That was my passion, my desire, maybe still is to a large extent. And that's all I sort of had my blinders towards. So after leaving Kimberley, coming to Johannesburg in '99, I had the opportunity to take on IT. My parents, as Indirani mentions, very much academics. My grandmother principal, both parents were doctors. My dad a medical doctor, my mom an academic. She had 2 PhDs, was a professor at the Northwest University, right? So you can imagine there was an expectation to continue that. But I didn't have the temperament, the skills, the focus, the desire even. I wanted to yo. And so coming to Johannesburg in '99, I then had the opportunity to attempt IT. I didn't make it to my end year exams because I didn't qualify. So needless to say, I dropped out. But my parents, bless their hearts, didn't give up on me. I attempted computer science the very next year. That one, even worse, I didn't even make it to half the year. Instead, I was on Jam Alley that same year. Of course, you know, my parents not to give up. The very following year, I attempted sound engineering. That came with a stern warning from my mom to say, you are now 21. You know, you have exhausted all of our resources. We are now going to redirect everything to your sister, so this is your last chance. I did complete my sound engineering, which then was my vehicle, how I got into the industry. I was first a technical producer at YFM for DJ Fresh. This is now back in the days, we're talking 2003 and the like. And so I got into the game. The same year, concurrently, I got into television. 2 years later, I released the first of my 5 albums. and I enjoyed a career in entertainment, and still do. But midway through it all, I realized how short-lived entertainment is, how brutal it is, how dependent it is on factors you can't always control. Popularity, good looks, how well-spoken you are, your social media following, you know. So these are all the factors that you can't necessarily control. You know, it has very little to do with how hard you work, how prepared you are, you know, how well you execute the task at hand. And so upon this realization, I realized that I don't have a plan beyond entertainment. You know, what happens if I reach my sell-by date? You know, I'm in my 40s now. I know it's hard to tell. No, if you reach a sell-by date, if you get a little bit too old, if you sort of run out of popularity, then what happens? What happens the day after? Heck, the TV show that I was synonymous for came to an end. A brutal example of the realities of entertainment, how short-lived it is. And so I began empowering myself, taking my destiny into my own hands and steering my own future. And that's when I decided to embark on higher learning. Of course, having had experience in management, having run a production company, I thought, perhaps even an inflated ego, I thought I could jump straight in and pursue an MBA. And so when I came to Regenesys, very confident with my folder of achievements and my profile, slammed it on the table and said, I'm ready for my MBA. They looked at everything I had done up till that point, from my little certificate in sound engineering, some of the short courses that I had done, my experience in management, and concluded that it was inadequate. This is unfortunately inadequate, and you have to start from step one, which you can imagine was incredibly humbling. Took it to the chin, took it to the chest, and I said, you know what? This is my destiny. This is my future. This is for me. This is something no one can take away from me. This does not have an expiry date, the sell-by date. It doesn't go off. This is an investment I'm prepared to make. And so I started then with my BBA. Of course, like before, within the first couple of months, I was ready to say, no, thank you so much. I've got a thriving rap career. I am fine. But of course, the good folks at Regenesys saw the potential, understood what could be and what could come of this, and insisted that I stay, that you try, and help me by offering additional support, additional guidance, which, by the way, is not available to me only. It's available to all of us. We have access to all of our tutors, all of our teachers, and literally at all hours of the day. You ever send a message at 8 p.m. and expect it in the morning only? The response, right? No. Instead, I would get a, no, call me, let's discuss this. Open your textbook, let's go through it right now. And so, with that kind of support, not only was I able to achieve my, my bachelor's, that finally, combined with that initial folder that I had brought, I was then eligible for my master's. Now that was a whole other animal. Please allow me to share with you. So what I found most enlightening and most life-changing, most earth-shattering for me was not necessarily all of the modules, the courses, and the subjects. That's fine, you know. But for me, it was how it was reshaping who I am as a person, how I think about the world, how I interact with the world, how I engage with the world. By the time we did personal mastery, which was in my first year, it really began to shape my mind, how I think about it. And Indrani spoke about the IQ, the EQ, the PQ, the SQ. It really began to influence how I see things. You know, because I still MC a lot of corporate events, I now can't help instinctively but observe the corporate culture, the communication, how it is addressed, how everyone interacts with each other, how a leader would address bad news, how you would address great news, you know, successes, lows, highs, troughs, and all that. And all because of this insight that I have enjoyed from understanding the various quotients. So much so that it actually inspired what was to be my book to help with it. So in my book, if I may share a little bit about it, I speak about everything from your mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, social health, occupational health, and all of these, you can imagine, were bolstered by the personal mastery course that we did now recently in my master's. So recently, you know, we had an issue at one of my jobs. I say one off because this is online and I know you'll use it against me one day, but somewhere. There was a situation where in leadership, somebody had to address something. There had been a passing of someone in the industry, except we couldn't then take off because we had to come. And I couldn't help but handled differently. And I think of it and it comes to my mind because to your staff contingent, how to interact, how to be a person human first. We prefer to interact with each other, with the world. So for me, that has been one of my greatest takeaways from my time here at Regenesys Business School. Not just what I academically in the classroom, my assignment, but who come in the process. Folks, with those few words, I hope to see you all in class. Our dean spoke about some of you may be sponsors. And I say, even you, the sponsors, consider empowering yourself. If I, at 40-something, can do it, you can too. If there are any questions, I will take the best two and offer my copy of my book too. Anybody like to pose a question? And it just before the book, ne? Arukut.
I just want to ask you something. During your own, like by the time you decided to do your MBA, so what was your main field? What was going through your mind the whole time?
Yeah.
Because at 40 something, as I'm looking at you now, some people would give up and think maybe they wouldn't be able to do it. So what was like the whole point? How was it like going through your mind at that point?
For sure. For me, I always had the end goal in my mind. You know, it was self-preservation tactic. I realized that I'm perhaps reaching the proverbial glass ceiling in terms of what I'm doing right now, which is entertainment, where I'm a contract worker. Everything I do is per contract, so they decide every single year if they are going to renew you. And it's all within their rights if they are going to retain you or not. And my fate being in somebody else's hands, I found very dehumanizing. And let me take the power back, and now I command my future. Now I am shooing offers because I want to finish my doctorate first. All of you wait, I'm coming. That's the destiny that I have reshaped with my qualification. Yeah, and you've earned this, by the way, so long already. Please give him a round of applause. You have a quick follow-up? Okay. Let me quickly take this for my good sir. I'm coming to you.
Okay.
You said you had a second?
Yeah, I just want to ask you something.
Yes,
okay.
go on.
You remember by the time when you were saying that your parents, they were telling you that your you think it contributed coping and then moving forward with your education?
That I will gladly admit, my good sir.
Okay.
I didn't have the maturity to take full advantage of the
It
opportunities.
equipped you and you became ready.
It equipped me, it scared me into action. I've got kids now who I try and inspire. There's no way I can tell my kids to do well at school if I didn't. So I try and lead by example as well, and 100% I had to grow into that person. There was a last one, yes.
Good morning, everyone.
And everyone else will be able to interact with Proverb after this. So we said 2 questions, we'll take this, we'll move on with the program, and you're welcome to interact with him straight after.
How are you, Proverb?
Blessed, and how are you?
Very well, thanks. My name is Edgar, and I'm your biggest fan from LinkedIn. We interacted last night while I was watching your interview.
I remember your comment. Thank you.
Yes. So, I mean, in a case, people, we see the final product.
Yeah.
Proverb, the successful person, the student, the entertainer.
Yeah.
But I am waiting. Obviously, making the decision now to come and study.
Yeah.
I would presume that you lost some monies along the entertainment sector. But how did you maintain that not success, but the journey throughout?
Yeah.
The funding of your education.
Yeah.
The last question for
And that's a brilliant question, Indarani. It gives me an opportunity to boast about the flexibility that Regenesys offers. So because it is not, or at least I opted not to take it full time. Mine was online, so I was able to maneuver my hours, my days. If I was unable to write an exam, Regenesys would be so kind as to accommodate me and to move it. There was even exams, I remember one year, that had to be moved to January. Big mistake, by the way. I decided to never do that again. It just makes the start of the year that much harder and all that. But again, it's an opportunity to speak about how flexible it is, how they accommodate you, how they're able to work around their schedule, because they realize that we're grown folk, a lot of us, we are working beings, we've got other lives, we've got families, we've got commitments, we've got responsibilities. So if you want to achieve your end goal, they will support you by accommodating you schedule-wise. That was your one question. So I was then able to supplement it with my gigs, with my work, with my radio. I never stopped working at any point, at least while pursuing my studies. Again, speaking of that flexibility, but that's how I was able to manage my finances. And there's a chapter in here about financial health. I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Proverb, for igniting the candle into a fire. Nishal spoke about, not being a candle and emerging into a fire. So I can't believe that any student or parent or sponsor or an inquiry today will leave here not feeling that they're equipped and ready to study, enhanced by an institution that takes you along the journey. So I spoke earlier about our modalities. The one is the full-time, and the other option that Proverb, because he's a working individual, chose was online education. So online at Regenesys is fully facilitated by faculty, supported by tutors behind the scenes that will make additional time, like his story, at 8 p.m. at night. These are true stories. It's not because he's an entertainer. It's not because his name is known in the industry. It's our commitment to our students. There were many times, I think more often than not, because he had a Saturday morning show on, that he could not make his classes. So Proverb would join the recorded classes online, supplemented by the tutors and faculty. So you can. If he can, with kids and a full-time job, you can too. I'm going to introduce you to another person that's a you can person. There are people that will tell you, I can't. They'll raise the obstacles, and there's many. If I had to give you time, I wouldn't, the whole day would not be enough to go through this room for why you can't achieve things and why you can't get to things. The number one concern there was finance. The chairperson who's going to come across and talk to you, Dr. Marco Shadavanya, is an I can person. The word I can't does not exist in his vocabulary. This is another individual that persevered 12 years while working to achieve his doctorate, from master's to doctorate, and raising a family and raising a community at Regenesys that now spans over 3 continents, 12 countries, almost 2,000 staff, just 110 techies, focusing on AI, and a humble journey. I introduced Marco before he walked into the room as a philanthropic monk, come into Africa some 30 years ago. But let's move on beyond the monk. One day the monk was not a monk anymore, right? That's how we have this chairperson that's here. I think it would be cute to see him in orange clothes commanding a board, right? But this development monk went on to be not just a successful entrepreneur, but a serial entrepreneur. You here for Regenesys Education, but he has businesses in travel, in finance. You know, I mentioned My Wealth investment companies, digital companies. So, you know, health companies, restaurants, and he continues to, you know, the next phase now is technology in everything that we do. He's also an established author. With his second book, the third one, we're waiting with the bated breath for a little while too long, like that last module after the dissertation. It's kind of the same parallel. But his life has been based on overcoming limitations. If I had to say, what was his superpower? His superpower is overcoming limitations. He has a passion to make the world a better place and used education, not just as a catalyst, but an alchemist. That's the way I see him, for societal change. Empowering individuals through holistic education. His revolution digitized education, going online, facilitated. And beyond that, the new initiative is digitizing access to education with no barrier, to your point, to funding. So any student, irrespective of your cash availability, goes through a credit vetting process through our FlexiPay team, headed up by Douglas Weinrich, that's sitting right here, understudy all. And we will ensure that no student is turned away because finance is your limitation. We will ensure that we accept you so that you can study now and pay later. It is a rigorous financial process, but we show you that this process will take 24 hours. It's dependent on your documentation. Right? And that's where the philanthropic heart meets the serial entrepreneur. Ventures, like I mentioned, My Wealth Investments, Denanda Talent, the recruitment company, Healthy, Rich Cafe, expanded in Africa and Europe. He is Croatian born, so ladies wait for the sexy accent to come up, which he dives on your attention. In entertainment, he was concerned about his sell-by date with popularity, good looks, and a social media following. Let me tell you, Marco doesn't have a social media presence. But through the secrets of success, it's daily messages of inspiration sent out. He has a following of up over 3 million at the moment. And that's our connection through our students and the ripple effect of our students and staff reposting our industry experts that support us in corporate education, which is over 1,000 clients of ours as well. He was also a finalist in 2009, like how Proverb brags about his accolades at the Ernst & Young World Entrepreneurship Awards, and his PhD is in performance management. He's dedicated his life to really awaken potential and unlock our limited beliefs. Without much ado, I'm going to hand over to our chairperson, Dr. Marco Sharavanya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Indrani. My accent is not as good as Indrani's and Proverbs. I think probably I should get some lessons in terms of public speaking. I love talking to people, but I have a problem talking from TV or radio. So I think still some fears in my subconscious mind. Yeah. I hope my accent is okay. I hope you can understand. Indrani said, I think men struggle with my accent. Ladies find it quite sexy. No, is that true? Okay. 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 I think there's one reason why you came here today. To find out why should you study at Regenesys. Why shouldn't you go to WITS or University of Pretoria or University of Johannesburg or any other institution? So I'll try to answer that question for you. I'll talk about three things. I'll talk a little bit about the external education system. What's going to happen in the next 20 years in South Africa in the education system and globally? Number one. Number two, how this program is going to change your life on every level. Physically, so you can become healthy and fit, like Proverb, or like me. So you can still do 130 push-ups and swim 2 kilometers and run and be very beautiful and attractive, that every woman or man wants you to. And you can become financially successful, actually financial freedom, become billionaire, not millionaire, and become great leader, conscious leader, emotional intelligence, and rest. So how this program is going to change your life, how Regenesys is going to change your life forever. And then third thing I'm going to talk at the end is call for action. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about education system and why you should choose Regenesys and not other institution without being negative or trying to pull down other institutions. You know, just few reasons. Regenesys is very entrepreneurial. It's purpose-driven. We do education because we love education. Here, it will not be just number. You know, I spent 3 years at WITS University from '95 to '98, you know, where I learned business of education. You know, and I realized how universities became ivory towers, how they became irrelevant, how students were just numbers. There was no love. There was no purpose. You know, and we started Regenesys with love for education, with a purpose, because we want to change the world, we want to make the world a better place, you know. That's driving force of Regenesys, you know. Okay. Regenesys is very entrepreneurial, very innovative, you know. So in the last 4 years, we've been growing 100%, you know. We're going to continue to grow. Next 10 years, 20 years, Regenesys will be top brand, not only in South Africa, but Africa and the world. Currently, in terms of online education, we are largest in Africa. So while we continue to grow, Regenesys brand is going to be reputable and amazing and great and famous, and all corporates will want Regenesys students to work with them. Other institutions in South Africa are going to go down because they're not entrepreneurial, because they are managed by government, owned by government, you know, and they're not innovative, you know, and they don't care, they're not driven by purpose, they're not driven by love. It's just job for them. There's no spirit, there's no emotional intelligence, you know. And I believe that spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence are superior intelligences, you know. And to become successful in life, you need to have emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. To get job, you need IQ. To become manager, you need emotional intelligence. To become leader, you need spiritual intelligence, like Mandela. So technology, AI, is going to disrupt public universities, you know. It's completely. Big brands are going to fall down like house of cards in the next 10, 20 years, including Harvard, MIT, and Stanford, and Oxford, you know. Not to talk about South African universities, you know. Okay. So Regenesys is going to thrive and we're going to win that race. You know, you're going to be proud alumni of Regenesys, you know. Because investment you make in education is largely investment you make in your life. Not just about money, it's about your time, which is more expensive, you know. And we're going to make sure that you get million times return investment on your education. You know. We are passionate about education. It's, for us, purpose, it's a life, it's a love, you know. It's not about money and numbers, you know. Okay, that's the reason why you should choose Regenesys. Look at future, look at 20 years, ask yourself the question, what's going to happen with South African universities? And global universities, will they be able to change in terms of AI, digitally, entrepreneurially, innovative? Are they be relevant? You know, those are questions you need to ask yourself, you know. Second thing is about your own personal change. I'm going to talk a little bit about. And my colleagues have already spoken, you know. The program you choose at Regenesys, your life is going to be changed forever, you know, on every level, you know. Number one. coming to develop your intellectual. You're going to become super, you're going to become smart. Your communication skills are going to improve. You're going to break your fears of public speaking, presentations. You're going to analyze, synthesize, present. You're going to get exposed to latest cutting-edge models and theories. You're going to demystify organization. People, mysteries of people and organizations and the world around global economy and geopolitics. So you're going to learn about managing money, people, leading teams, technology, projects, quality, strategies. You're going to be confident. You're going to be changed completely intellectually. We'll plant thousands of seeds, which will grow beyond your program. It will make you super smart, super intelligent.